Today is the 1st of April, and no, this is not the April Fool. I'm currently on the Macclefield Canal, just above the Bosnia Lock flight. I hope you can hear me all right, because there's quite a bit of a wind blowing today. I'll try and get as best I can. Okay, as you can see, the towpath is closed off completely. It's all barriered off. I'll just squeeze down the side here. As you can see, we have water this side, and we have these scaffold poles, or stop planks as they're called, laid across the canal at the bridge, and that allows the water to remain in this pound. As you can see, I hope you can see through the railings here, the canal is now completely empty. All the way on the left hand side here, all of it, as far as you can see, were permanently moored boats. They've all had to be moved, and round the corner was where I was the visitors' moorings. So all that water from here, about a mile and a half of canal, is all being drained through the breach. So they've got a mammoth job trying to repair it. Now, I can't get down there to actually show you the breach itself, but I have seen drone footage of other people before they closed the towpath off, and there is a hole in the towpath and in the wall of the canal about the size of a motor car, and all the water has obviously drained out of there. Now, the Canal and River Trust have informed us that it's going to take at least 12 weeks to be able to repair that and get the canal back up and running again. So that's 12 weeks of being temporarily moored, all in a huddle, which I'll show you now. So all these boats are now crammed up. To get them all in, they've had to do what they call double breasting. And this is my boat here on the outside, on the left hand side, with the Union Jack flag flapping. I'm now moored against this chap's boat here, and it's like that for 3 or 4 boats all the way down. Not ideal. It means the only access I've got to my boat is to actually climb over this chap's boat to get to mine, which is just on the outside of there. So it's hardly an ideal situation. Certainly it's alright for it to get to, but certainly not for up to 12 weeks. I have to step across that gap there to get to the front of my boat. So not an ideal situation. So what can I do about it? Well, I can't really do an awful lot about it. I'm going to go down now and have a look further down to where the locks are and see if there's a possibility of me getting down through this first top lock here and mooring in the pound between the 2 locks. It's quite a big pound. I understand that they've stopped all traffic coming up and onto the Macclefield and off the Macclefield, because obviously they want to retain the water that's in this section until they can get it fixed. So I'm going to see what I can do and get back to you. Catch you soon. So here's the lock. This is the what called top lock, number 1 lock of the Bosnia flight. I'm moored just down around the corner down there. So I'll come into this lock, come down through, and into this pound here. There is 1 boat moored here. As you can see, just in the far distance up there is the next lock. So there's quite a distance for me to be able to moor. I'm just going to go and see what the practicalities are now. So the situation's just not tenable for me, really. I'm going to go down to the lock fill up with some water before I go through, go down the lock and into the next pond. I've been down there, there's plenty of room. There's only one CRT boat, work boat, and another boat moored up there, so there's plenty of room. I'll stay there for a couple of days or weeks or whatever it is, until I get permission to go through the locks and continue off the Macclefield. But for now, this situation is just non-tenable for me. I'm moving on. Well, that's me moored up now. Come down through the lock there. Just down the one lock, which was already full of water, so I didn't waste any water from the pound. And I'm now moored up here in the next pound. And the next lock is just on the horizon there, down there. But I'll have to wait and get permission to go down through there because they've locked the very bottom lock gates to stop anybody from coming up. So I'll need permission from CRT. So with any luck, should be all right here. I'm getting solar now under the panels, so that should be good. It should be nice and quiet down here because there's nobody moving. So I might get a bit of work done. So potentially this is me now moored up in this pound for the next 12 weeks, unless I get permission to continue down and come off the Macclefield Canal altogether. We'll wait and see. I mentioned this morning that my batteries weren't charging up because I had no solar whatsoever in that little shaded area. I've now moved and I'm in full sun. And literally within an hour, my batteries have gone to 100%. So much so, I'm now cooking my tea, even though it's only lunchtime. I'm pre-cooking my tea on an air fryer to use the solar. Then I'll just quickly warm them up later on. I'll just show you. There we go. There's my little tiny air fryer. I think it's about 300 watt. Just enough for a couple of nice fish cakes. I'm going to cook them now while the sun's out, save energy, and then quickly just warm them up under the grill later on for my tea. Spot on. Cooking by solar. Can it be better? My time here on the Macclefield has been nothing if it hasn't been interesting. Over the winter we were frozen in for 10 days with the canal completely frozen. Then we couldn't move again because the lock closures, they started in February, went right way through till March, so they've only just opened. And now we've got the breach, which means that we can't go very far, or can't go anywhere at the moment now. I was supposed to be getting my boat blacked in 4 weeks' time, further up on the next canal, up under the Peak Forest Canal, Furnace Vale Marina. I've just had to contact him this morning and cancel that because the canal is going to be out of action for, well, up to 12 weeks I reckon. I can't really go anywhere because they don't want people going up and down the flight of locks because there's no water to replace it. The water comes from the canal above to feed these locks, and because there's no flow coming down from above the breach, then there's no water getting down here to feed these locks. So all traffic has stopped once again. Still, this is boat life. Nothing you can do about it. Just adapt and carry on. This is the overflow, by what we call it, for the canal. Normally the water is running over the top of here like a little waterfall and going down the culvert, round through and back into the next pound. That's how the locks are fed. It comes down from the top, surplus goes over the weir here, round and into the other canal. But because there's no feed from the locks above and the canal above, as you can see, apart from the little bit of leakage around either side. There's no water going over here. So this is why they don't really want the locks to be used, because there's no water to replenish the water that is used. And I'll just show you this lock here is actually empty. And you can imagine how many thousands of gallons it takes to fill these locks. These are deep locks. I don't know whether you can actually see that. I don't want to get too close. Sun's on the screen. But these are deep. I would say probably a good 12 foot deep. I mean, each one of those blocks are about 1.5 feet. So what we've got there, we've got 3, 6, 9, yeah, about 12 foot deep. So it'll take an awful lot of water to fill these locks. That's why they don't want anybody using them. Enjoyed watching this video. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already done so. It's completely free. And of course, leave me some comments. I love reading your comments and your suggestions. Catch you later.